Continuing from where we left off in Chapter 3, Part 2. Pan the view over to get a better view of the head. Like we did on the tail, let's add 2 more edge loops. Select the Add Loop tool and use it to add 2 loops, here and here. Let's switch to nearest orthographic. Again, pan the view over so that the head is centered. Click on the Rectangle Select tool and set the element type to Select Vertices. Use Drag Select and the widget to move the vertices around to better fit the drawing. The key details we want to shape out with this part are the bottom of the jaw, the corner of the mouth, the top of the lip, and the top of the skull. Notice how angling back the front edges of the head shape helps with the aggressive look of the fish. Switch back to perspective and rotate the view so that the back of the head can be seen. Something to notice here is that the view rotates around the currently selected element. So if you're working with a model that extends past the view, it can be helpful to quickly select a vertex for the view to pivot around. We're going to have to do a bit of work here to get the head and neck to pair up nicely. Once you've got a good angle, select the center vertex and pull it down so that we can create a transition from the jaw to the neck. Switch to the Pick and Paint Selected tool and change the element type to Select Faces. Now select the 4 faces on the back of the skull area. We want to extrude out a transition from the head to the neck. So find and select the Sweep tool. This will sweep out the selected faces. Use the widget to scale the selected faces to better match the height and width of the body. You'll need to move the selection down in Z a bit to line it up. Now scale the selected faces down in X to flatten them. Let's convert these 4 faces into a single face to make it easier to select later. To do that, find and select the Merge Polygons tool. Now we need to line up the neck and the body so that we can join them up with the Bridge tool. Choose the Rectangle Select tool and set the element type to Select Vertices. Select the top left and top right vertices on the neck. Move them down in Z and scale them in Y. Notice that I'm being very careful to use only transforms that will maintain the symmetry. This is useful to keep in mind when working on a symmetrical model. Towards the end of the chapter, I will show you a more automatic way to maintain the symmetry using the Mirror Modeler tool. Rotate the view so we're looking at the fish directly on. Now select the middle group of vertices on the neck. Move them in Z to line them up opposite the vertices on the body. Select the next group of vertices on the neck and line these up also. Now rotate the view and scale them in. The neck and the body now line up, so let's connect them up. Choose the Pick and Paint Selected tool and change the element type to Select Faces. Now find and choose the Bridge tool in the Tools flyout. Click on the 8-sided face at the back of the neck. Rotate the view around so that we can see the 8-sided face on the end of the body and click on it as well. You should now have a highlighted tube formed between the 2 selected surfaces. The Bridge tool automatically generates edges based on the geometry angles and the max planarity option, so for consistency between the video and user results, I'm going to go ahead and triangulate the bridge geometry, then manually delete the extra edges. So select the Keep Triangle option in the Tool Options panel, then go ahead and press Enter on the keyboard to complete the tool. Choose Pick and Paint Selected and change the element type to Select Edges. Select each of the angled edges and delete them so that we are left with only quads. Once that is done, even though we've deleted the extra geometry, you may still notice some triangulation in the normals. To fix this, find and select the Faceted Normals tool. Now that the head and tail are connected to the body, let's cut our fish in half and hook up the Mirror Modeler. Select the left view, and then zoom in. Hopefully everything is nicely lined up along the center line of the fish. Choose the Rectangle Select tool and change the element type to Select Face. Now drag select all the faces on the right hand side of the fish and click the delete tool. Go back to perspective mode and we should have half a fish. If you have any stray edges that you missed, select them and delete them. Once we have exactly half of the fish remaining, choose the Pick and Paint Selected tool and change the element type to Select Edge Loops. Mouse over the back edge of the fin so that the inner edge of the fish highlights, and click to select it. Use the widget to scale the selection flat in Y. Watch the info box and keep scaling down until the Y scale value is 0. Now that we have a flat center line to mirror around, find and choose the Mirror Modeler icon. Our model is now hooked up to a real-time mirror that will maintain symmetry between the two halves. Choose the Rectangle Select tool and change the element type to Select Vertices. Adjust the view to get a better view of the head, then select the vertex at the base of the neck and move it up a bit. Since this vertex is on the mirror plane, we need to be careful not to move it in Y, which would move it out of the mirror plane and create a gap in our model. Do the same for the next vertex down. Then use drag select to highlight the ring of vertices around the neck and move them forward some. Next, rotate the view to better see the top of the head. Select the back corner vertex and move that in. You'll notice that the corresponding vertex on the other side moves to match. Select the next vertex along the head and move that in and down. Repeat with the rest of the vertices along the outer edge of the top of the head. Basically, we want to round out the head so it doesn't look as boxy. Finally, select the outer corners of the jaw and pull them in. Right-click to exit point edit mode, zoom out a bit and rotate around to admire our work. There's still a lot of work to go, but we've got our basic mesh roughed out and we're ready to start adding detail.